Hi, this is Tom Uford, the Tampa Coffee Examiner, and in this video I'm going to show you the method that I use to brew my coffee. My preferred method is using the French press or press pot, which is right here. It comes in a couple different pieces, the glass container, and then the actual plunger, which is the stem and the hood, and then there's several filters that I use to help strain the coffee grounds when we do the actual pressing. Today I'm going to brew the Costa Rican Don Mayo La Ponderosa bourbon, which I roasted in my last video. And here are the beans. I'll be using a burr grinder. I prefer a burr grinder because you'll get a more uniform size and a shape of the coffee grounds. I have 16 ounces of water boiling at the moment, and with those 16 ounces I'm going to use 28 grams of coffee beans. I like to grind the beans just as the water is boiling. Try to keep things as fresh as possible. I like to get the water up to about 205 degrees for brewing purposes. So since water boils at 212 degrees, by the time I get it from the stove to the French press pot, it's dropped in temperature to just about the right temperature, 205. So I'm going to grind the beans right now. Remove them from the chamber. And I'm going to get the water right now. I'm going to pour the water directly into the French press pot. And I like to use a 3-minute brewing method. Put the top back on. For the first minute, I just let the grounds steep in the water, and you may be able to see there's about a ½ inch of coffee grounds and then about 3 inches or so of water. Like I said, for 16 ounces of water I'll use 28 grams of coffee grounds. That's 7 grams per 8 ounces of water. I like my coffee cup holds 16 ounces. So after the first minute is up, what we'll do is we'll agitate the coffee for a minute, and then for the final minute we will let it rest again. This was freshly roasted coffee on Friday, so you can see there's a little bit of a bloom with the beans as the carbon dioxide gets released. The grinder that I use is a Baratza Maestro Plus. Now we're going to agitate the coffee for 1 minute. Just swirl it around. You might be able to see some of that bloom, the crema, as I rotate it around. I like doing it in 3 minutes, which is relatively short, but I set the grind size on my grinder for as small as possible for a French press, probably a little bit smaller than some people may use. That way I'll get a quicker extraction, and I think I get better flavor from the coffee. The French press pot actually is not that expensive. You can look at Walmart, Target or so, and you can probably find it for under $30. The grinder itself, I try to buy the best grinder as possible. For the Barazza Maestro, I think I spent about $130 for that, which is probably the bare minimum that I would want to spend and can still be affordable in my budget. And then as far as boiling the water, I just use a regular tea kettle and boil it on the stove. I also use these one-way gas valve bags to store the coffee. I like to use these because it keeps the oxygen from coming in and staling the coffee beans and allows the carbon dioxide and other gases from roasting to escape. Coming up on the last 10 seconds. Now when we do the actual plunge, when we press down on the plunge, I try to make it as slow as possible. About 25 seconds or so, just to slowly separate the grounds from the coffee. I don't want to go too quickly because that might cause some of the grounds to escape, and you'll always have some grounds, a little bit of mud in the bottom of your cup when you do a French press pot, but I believe the trade-off in flavor is acceptable. Now that that is finished, we'll just pour the coffee in the coffee cup. I take my coffee black, so I just fill it up to the top. And that's all there is to it with the French press pot. Give it a try at home sometime. I think you'll enjoy it. It makes a great, flavorful cup of coffee, and it's very simple. Thanks very much.